Good morning to you. We begin with breaking news. Sir Alan Bates, who led the fight to expose the post office scandal, has urged fellow victims to take the government to court over delays for compensation as, in his words, it's probably the quickest way to ensure fairness for all. Well, let's bring in our correspondent Matthew Thompson. Matthew, this is in a letter that he sent to current and former postmasters. Talk to us about what he said.
Yes, indeed. So it's an email that we've obtained, sent by Sir Alan to the hundreds of sub-postmasters and sub-postmistresses who are still waiting for compensation payouts from the government after, of course, the scandal with the Post Office Horizon IT system. And in this email, Sir Alan describes the compensation schemes as a mess. And in particular, he says that the government promised last year to deliver compensation to the bulk of claimants by the end of March. And instead, he cites statistics which show that there are still 200 or so claimants in just one of the four schemes that exists. And he says that it might be, according to his estimations, November 2027 by the time the full compensation is paid out, given what he describes as a very slow rate of progress. Now, just to read you a small section of Sir Alan's email, he says, in fact, what I've just told you, the current rate of progress means it will be November 2027 before all the claims will be finished. Not only is the rate of finalising claims of huge concern, but the logjam is being compounded with the vast number of claims being challenged by victims and their lawyers. Quite simply, he continues, the scheme is a mess and has been almost since the time of its inception. Advice on how to streamline and speed up the scheme, which has been offered to the DBT, it's Department for Business and Trade, which is managing the scheme, by ourselves, your lawyers, that's referring to lawyers for the claimants, of course, and even the DBT Select Committee of MPs is ignored out of hand with the feeblest of excuses. Now, as a result, essentially what Sir Alan concludes in this email is that the only route available to him and others like him may well be a judicial review, and he urges the members of that email list to start campaigning and fundraising with a view to taking the government back to court. And let's remind you, 5 years now, more than 5 years, since they were vindicated in that 2019 court case. We also have a short statement from the Department for Business and Trade, who told us that we do not accept Sir Alan's forecast of when the full payouts will be made. The facts show we are making almost 90%, they say, of initial GLO offers within 40 working days of receiving completed claims. GLO is one of the four compensation schemes I mentioned a moment ago. As of 31st of March, they say 76% of the group had received full and final redress, or 80% of their offer. So long as claimants respond reasonably promptly, we would expect to settle all claims by the end of this year. We've trebled the number of payments under this government, they say, and are settling claims at a faster rate than ever before to provide full and fair redress.
Joining us in our Westminster studio, Matt Thompson, thank you so much. Well, let's also bring in former Deputy Postmistress Yvonne Tracy. I appreciate you joining us. What's your take on what Sir Alan's had to say in this letter? What are people saying to you as well?
I absolutely agree with him. I think the only way forward is to take the government to court, because it's taking far too long. I mean, here we are, 2025, and still, 25% of people who should have been paid out haven't been paid out. And people are dying while they're waiting. You know, we're not getting any younger, any of us. So yes, absolutely. Please listen to Sir Alan Bates and take the government to court.
And just to clarify, Yvonne, you've not got a compensation claim, do you, at the moment?
No, I'm lucky. Although I was in the post office for many years, I wasn't affected personally by this, but the stories and watching that programme that we all saw affected me greatly. And I'm still so angry that these people are still fighting for compensation. It shouldn't be like that.
What are former sub-postmasters, sub-postmistresses saying to you about the delays, about the time it's taking, about their challenge in getting the compensation that the government in themselves say they are duly owed?
They're horrified. They really are. I think they've waited so long, and different politicians have said yes, we'll help you, but it doesn't seem like the help is coming forward. You know, lots of politicians talk a good talk when they want your votes, but once they get in, I don't see that anybody's really pulling out all the stops to help these poor people. They've been vindicated. They've lost their livelihoods. They've lost their way of life. Stop it. Just pay them out now. It's disgusting, but I think the only thing to do is to go down the legal route to stop them dragging their heels any longer. They can't wait any longer. They've told me people are dying while they're waiting. Please help. Who's going to help them?